Touchdown! Is this the dagger? Fernando Tatis Jr., a grand slam!
Iguodala. It's funny to hear a female talk about routes. Like,
Pull up your hands, take off the bra and be a man!
Welcome to From the Backseat, hosted by Clark and Ethan.
it's funny.
Good evening, folks. It is February 9th. You are tuning into the show that critics have called mediocre at best. It is From the Backseat. I am your host, Clark Farrenthal, joined as always, my co-host.
Hey, what's up? My name is Ethan, and I am the co-host of From the Backseat.
Yeah, exactly. See, now we do the date, we do the introduction. It's so much more official. It's so much more clockwork. People often forget that we didn't do the date before, but now that someone has taken over the introduction, it's much better. So you're welcome.
Now that we're back posting some videos on TikTok, people are like, man, I'm so glad that you guys say the date now.
Everyone is clamoring about the date. I mean, it is sweeping the nation.
It is sweeping the nation about the date.
You're welcome. So there's that. A great, now let's just get it right out of the way, folks. Great week for sports. NBA trades, Super Bowl's coming up, baseball's getting back into the swing of things. Everything is chalked and lined up just the way that we would like it to be. So we're very excited to dive right into these topics for today's show. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a particular, there was a lot of sports news, but there hasn't been really any sports on TV.
Yeah, but sporting news can be sometimes just as good as sports itself.
I mean, the thing about sporting news is you see the update and you get that boost of dopamine when you see it, and then it goes away after 10 seconds after. So I sent this to Clark earlier. So I'm a part of a Discord of some guys who have some insider information on this NFL offseason about a potential trade that might happen in the NFL. I'm not going to share that news because it's theirs. If you want to know what it is, go.
Wow, you just tease us like that.
Well, I'm going to tell you where they can go to get them.
Okay.
So go be a part of the Lightning Round podcast. They're a Chargers-specific podcast, and they have an insider within the organization. But I'm not going to leak their stuff. Go see it for yourself. I don't want to be that person.
Very classy.
But they know a potential NFL trade that we might talk about inadvertently. And so that news, it's fun to see. You're like, oh man, that's crazy that might happen, and then just flusters out of your head and you kind of forget about it.
That's fair. I guess you could call sporting news like the juicy fruit of gum.
Yeah.
Is the equivalent, because it's so good for that little bit. You're like, oh, that sweet nectar of that juicy fruit, a flavor you can't even really describe, but you like it so much. And then it goes away. Maybe you add a little bit of water, but then it gets hard and you don't enjoy it as much. That's what I would say. And sporting news is. It's just a piece of juicy fruit. Lasts a little bit, but doesn't hold you over for the whole day.
Well, it's so when we get to actual NFL free agency, it'll be there's so many big announcements that come out on that day. And it'll be each one is talked about for maybe 10 minutes before you move on to the next one.
Yeah.
You're going to get the update of some guard that your team just signed that you're like, oh man, what a great signing. And then you're going to see the Denver Broncos go out and spend huge money, and you're going to immediately forget about whatever your team just did.
Unless you really love your team, and then which you don't care.
That's true. And then whoever that role player you just signed is the biggest deal in the world.
Exactly. That's all we can ever ask for as sports fans.
I mean, I think you're a diehard sports fan of a team of when you get hyped up over signings like guys like DeAndre Carter. When you hear dudes
just
names way out there, guys.
If you get obsessed about the depth players, that's when you might have an issue.
I think that's when you're a true diehard, or you're like, man, this 6th round pick that I did scouting on is going to be
you probably looked at the Pro Football Focus score in college and were like, yep, he could be good.
Or you just watch the highlight reel that the one guy made that's 5 minutes.
And it's just, it's from the all 22 view, and you're just like, yep, this is scouting. I can do this for a living.
It's just you sitting on your couch, just watching the Pac-12 championship. Dude, this middle linebacker I'm watching right now, that was a nice read.
We see a tight end that's just wildly undersized, and you're like, you know what? He could fit well in our offense if we made it work.
Dude, his RAS score was a 7.5.
The RAS score, your SPARQ score is important. That I do value.
I mean, it's a value to his extent. I mean, there's a big deal. Like if you have a 9 and above, then that's a big deal. But if you're debating between like a 6 and a 7 RAS score, just doesn't matter all that much.
If I was an NFL prospect, I would get my RAS score tattooed onto my body, so no one would ever forget what it is.
The only time RAS scores don't matter is if the person is hurt doing the pre-combine process.
I guess it's fair.
Because like Keenan Allen had like a 3 on the RAS, but I mean, he's very athletic. I mean, he's one of the most agile players in the league. Not fastest. I'm not going to say he's super fast, but agility-wise, the way his feet move is kind of crazy.
I actually won't be friends with someone if they have a 3-cone drill under 9 seconds or over 9
Oh,
seconds.
yeah, you got to have new friends.
If your 3-cone drill is piss poor, I'm just not even interested. We can't even be friends.
Honestly,
terrible.
that's what the first date thing should be. Like you should, as you're going to go into the restaurant, you have 3 cones set up and you're like, you have to run this right now.
That could be it.
That could be it. So speaking of all of this, what Clark and I decided to do is we had the Pro Bowl last week. We have the Super Bowl on Sunday. I feel like Clark and I are kind of in a unanimous opinion on who we think is going to win the Super Bowl.
Well, who do you think is going to win?
I think the Chiefs will win.
I think Kansas City's going to win too.
Yeah, I feel like Patrick Mahomes is playing out of his head right now, and it's tough to see him lose.
Yeah, I mean, gets the MVP tonight. Obviously, that's some big news for him. I think he is kind of playing at that level where you sit back and you say, can anyone beat him? I know Philly has a really good front seven, although and a really good secondary, but I just think Patrick's kind of playing at that level, like you said, where you just sit there and you don't think anyone can stop him.
So there are 2 interesting storylines going into the Super Bowl that I've seen people talk about, and I'm just going to throw out there. If Patrick Mahomes wins the Super Bowl, he would be the first quarterback ever to lead the league in passing yards and win the Super Bowl.
That would be cool, I guess.
He would also be the first MVP to win the Super Bowl since the 90s.
Congratulations.
So, I mean, that's kind of big. And Jalen Hurts, if he ends up winning, he'd probably be the first, like, prototypical mobile quarterback to win. So it'd be fun.
Yeah, but I guess that's true. But he has really improved as a pocket passer. So, he's really progressed. But yes, probably one of the first guys you'd say, maybe you thought as a run-first quarterback.
I am going to say one thing about Jalen Hurts, and this is before the game. Maybe I'll end up looking stupid. I think Jalen Hurts is becoming one of the most overrated players in the league right now. Reason I'm saying it is like people are putting him above like guys like Justin Herbert, Josh Allen. Any list that has him above those 2 guys, I'm just like,
no, thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
I'll consider the Josh Allen discourse after next year.
Yeah, I'll consider it too. I mean, I could be there next year. I'm just right now, I'm like, okay, Jalen is very, very good, and he's a step below those guys. But honestly, I believe Trevor Lawrence is probably better than Jalen Hurts.
It's a conversation. Again, I would love another year of Trevor before I would say that he is. That's all I would say. I would love another year of Trevor.
Well, is there anything you want to talk about pre-Super Bowl before we get into it?
I mean, I just in terms, I guess for us as Padres fans, good day today. Good day.
Yeah.
Yu Darvish, 6-year, $108 million extension. Peter Seidler, thank you for continuing to dish out the cash. It's all us in San Diego have ever asked for. Good for the team overall, too. You get a guy who lowers by $3 million each year his AAV, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I think it works out really well. I think if there's any pitcher who can probably progress and throw well into their 40s, it's Darvish. This guy is physically in great shape. He has a great pitch mix, and he's not someone who you've sat there and said his whole career, okay, hey, he needs to rely on a 97-mile-plus-mile-an-hour fastball. He has great secondary, third, fourth pitches that should play extremely well for him in the later parts of his career when the velo will definitely start to dip.
Oh, I mean, great deal for them. I will say, and this is where I'm getting at, is because there's a lot of reports that the Machado deal is going to get done. And there's all these reports. Of course, we've talked about it quite a bit, that Shohei Ohtani might be on the Padres. I don't know if you're getting this vibe, but I don't think Soto is in their long-term plan.
I don't know. I kind of disagree. Hector Gomez tweeted out after the Machado story came out that you could say the same things for Soto in San Diego, basically everything that they applied to Machado. And Hector Gomez is kind of the guy that nails a lot of the things that happen with, Dominican baseball players. And that's what wants Eagles. Okay. Ben, sometimes you just come into this chat and you say some real real cook takes.
So those that don't know, Ben,
Real
friend of the
cook
show, came in and said Eagles with healthy Hurts has been the best team in the league all year.
I don't think that's true.
I mean,
That's just me.
I just think it's hard to compare the AFC to the NFC because most of the teams in the NFC would get steamrolled by the AFC every single week. I mean, again, the third best team in the NFC was the Vikings.
I know. That tells you a lot right there.
That tells you a lot.
Tells you everything you might need to know.
In Detroit, why they were good, that roster had no business being anywhere near the playoffs, nor did the Giants. I mean, I get that the Giants were good, but they had no business being anywhere near the playoffs.
I mean, again, they had Brian Dable win Coach of the Year. He schemed up how to use Daniel Jones really well. Saquon had, you could argue, a career year. Huge bounce back for him. But roster makeup-wise, they have very little skill on the outside of Darius Slayton. The defense played well as it did, but I think if you put them in the AFC, it's not going to go as well for the Giants. But they play in the NFC, so
yeah. So back to the Padres. Yeah, I see what you're saying about the Soto stuff, but it just doesn't. Everything with Soto feels like speculation.
Well, here's the thing I'll say with Soto. I mean, realistically, he has 2 full years before he hits free agency.
Yeah.
He's probably not the number one concern right now. If you're the Padres, if you're Peter Seidler, your number one concern right now should be making sure that Machado doesn't even have the opportunity to opt out. You make that extension happen now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Padres are in an interesting spot because at some point, as much as we want to talk about the cap keeps on going up, the cap keeps going up, lower the AAV. I mean,
there is no cap. There's the luxury tax.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. But
yes.
If Shohei Ohtani is actually in the cards, at some point the bill is going to come up. You can't.
Well, clearly.
You know what I mean? Like, if I think they bring back Soto if they don't go after Ohtani, but as much smoke out there is about Ohtani to the Padres, Ohtani to the Padres, Ohtani to the Padres. At some point, this bill is going to come due. This feels very much like me, and this is Chargers fan takes. This feels very much like me. All of the discourse last offseason about the Chargers getting J.C. Jackson. Everyone was like, "Oh, it just makes too much sense. It makes too much sense." Tom Telesco loves J.C. Jackson. Like all of this stuff, there was so many reports about it until it finally happened. And we can talk about how that deal worked out because that's a whole different story. But just from an offseason perspective, it felt like everyone was saying that. And that's how it's kind of feeling about Ohtani right now.
I mean, we have talked about it at length. Ohtani is clearly the white whale that got away from AJ Preller. He's the guy he's been obsessed with. And if there's anything that we as Padres fans know is that Preller typically does not give up on guys he has previous history with, whether that be prospects or anyone who used to be a former Ranger that he had under his wing. He usually gives him a shot at one point or another here in San Diego. I think Ohtani is an obsession for him. I will say that. There's no doubt in my mind. But I agree with you. You would have to give up one guy or the other. I don't know, because Ohtani is older, if I would take Ohtani over Soto. And I know that sounds crazy, but I think some people kind of don't have a grasp at just how good Juan Soto is. I think you're going to see it this year. So I mean,
I think it all depends. I think it's hard to put a value on Ohtani because there's no other player like him. Like he provides you 2 roster spots at
100% agree. 100% agree.
At worst, a top 20 level at both positions.
I agree, but again, he's older at this point. He's older than Soto.
That's why he's so hard to like nail down of what's the value. I mean, so today I sent into a chat, some person from NFL or MLB.com did a rankings of the top 50 players. That was absolutely awful. Don't go look at it. But they had Ohtani at 4, which to me is just.
Who did you have ahead of him?
Let me pull it up. I can tell
that's
you.
Justifiable.
Really, you think so?
Well, it depends on who he has ranked ahead of him.
So he had DeGrom at 1, Soto at 2, Mike Trout at 3, Shohei Ohtani at 4.
I would not have ordered it that way.
I mean, to me, Ohtani has to be He's won the MVP the last. Oh well, I guess he didn't technically win last year, but he was the runner-up and then the MVP the year before.
I still think Trout's better.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
So Trout would be 1, and then Ohtani would be 2.
I mean, you could flip-flop either of those two. It's not wrong.
In your opinion, that should be the 1 and 2, no matter what the
one
order is.
should probably be Trout. 2, I guess you'd say, would be Ohtani.
Yeah.
Who was the third guy again? You said DeGrom. Who else?
DeGrom and Soto.
Yeah, Soto. Maybe. Then those other 2 you can flip flop again. I really wouldn't have an issue with either one. I don't know.
You want to hear the craziest part about this list?
Please
Where do you think he puts Tatis?
Probably not even inside the top 20.
He's number 6.
Well, good. He's smart then. This guy knows what he's talking about.
I mean, it's hard to judge him, though.
No, it's not. That is not hard to judge Fernando.
Can you guess where he has Garrett Cole?
Well, Garrett Cole's overrated as shit, so.
He's number 9.
Well, Yankees fans pondering, is Garrett Cole underrated? No.
Oh, sorry. Garrett Cole is 8. Who do you think is 9? He's a twin. And it's not Correa. Correa's 7.
It's a twin. It's not Correa. Dude, I don't know. I don't pay enough attention to the Twins at this point.
Byron Buxton.
Buxton's hurt all the time.
He has him as a top 10 player in the league right now.
If he's healthy, he is a top 10 player.
Yeah, but he's
never healthy. He has Brian Roberts syndrome.
I mean, this list is ridiculous. I mean, even if you want to talk about it, like Mookie Betts had a down year last year, but he has him at 24.
Definitely a little bit crazy because he still had a really good year last year.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as good as he was before.
Mookie Betts is one of the guys I've put a future bet down to win National League MVP this year.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the other crazy one is like, as you go down this list, Bryce Harper is 39.
Well, he's having Tommy John.
Bryce Harper?
Yeah, he needed it this offseason.
How did I miss this?
That was all last year.
Oh,
remember that?
I guess
it was the whole thing last year. He
missed
played with a torn last year. He played with a torn. He DH'd.
Oh, wow. Well, that's kind of big.
Yeah, so I kind of get that. I guess if you're saying like based off of who's actually going to play, then sure.
Yeah, but then how can you have Tatis at 6? He didn't play all of last. Yeah, but he didn't play all of last year.
Because Tatis could very likely win MVP this season. Let's not pretend like that's out of the cards.
You want to hear another crazy thing? Manny Machado is 33.
Okay, I'm sure he put Nolan Arenado above him.
Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe he did. I don't see Nolan Arenado.
I would just love to know. Whatever. We can't dive into this whole list, but Machado.
Yeah, we can't. Oh no, Nolan Arenado is below him. Nolan Arenado is 40. Oh no, he's 35.
Nolan should never be ahead of Manny in anything.
Okay, so let's move into our big segment of the day. What Clark and I are going to do is we are going to guess the NFL script for the offseason. So if Clark and I were the NFL script writers, we are going to go through and try to create the most drama-filled offseason we can. So that is our goal. We've heard all this chatter about the NFL script, and Clark and I think we can write it better. If the NFL is truly writing this script, we think we're better script writers. We think we could put more drama into this. So we're going to leak our NFL script. And so where our script is going to start is with the person currently taking visits, which is a quarterback out in Vegas. Clark, where in our script is Derek Carr going?
In my script, in our script, in our beautifully written play, our screenplay, Derek Carr is going to be repping the Florida League next year. He's going to be a New Orleans Saint. Despite the fact that the Saints are $60 million over the cap hit, Derek Carr will be a New Orleans Saint. That's just how it's going to play out. Sorry about it, folks.
It's a part of the script is I totally agree with you. That's where he's going. But the craziest part about the Saints is, did you know if they did every single cut above $1 million, how positive do you think they would be?
Not positive.
This is no restructures, but every single cut that would save them above $1 million.
I have no idea. Please tell me.
They'd be $2 million over the cap, and that would entitle them cutting 25 players.
Well, see, that's the sign of a really smartly run organization right there.
Yeah, but Derek Carr is going to be their quarterback.
Derek Carr is going to be their quarterback, and they're going to pray a lot, and they're going to lose a lot. And that's okay.
Okay, so next up on the script, what does Aaron Rodgers do? What is the script call for Aaron Rodgers?
He goes on a second 4-day darkness retreat. He's going on a
Yeah,
second
where he
darkness
just sits in the
retreat.
dark.
Yes. He's going to go on a second one. He's going to find himself. He's going to apologize publicly to Shailene Woodley because she's had some distressing moments, I guess, about their relationship recently,
Yes.
even though they're not together anymore. And then after all of that, Aaron Rodgers is going to reunite with Devontae Adams in Las Vegas.
Totally agree. That's what the script calls for.
That's what the script is calling for every day.
That's what the script. Sorry, New York Jets fans.
Sorry,
You're
New
not
York Jets
getting it.
fans. It's never going to happen. You guys, I have another idea of who you're going to get, though. Your script is still pretty good.
Oh, I think I have the same idea. Is he a stallion?
No. I'm not
we're
giving
not
them
talking-
that idiot.
Not Jimmy G.
No, Jimmy G's script is not what's going to happen.
All right. So yeah, I agree. I think he's gonna end up at the he's gonna end up at the Raiders. It just feels like that's where the betting odds are at right now. He goes back to Devontae, plays with Josh McDaniels. It felt like that was gonna be where Brady ended up, but since Brady has officially retired, officially done, that's where Rodgers can
You know
go.
what Jimmy G's script is in my mind?
What's Jimmy G's script?
Arrested.
Oh
Felony.
my god. For what?
Assaulting a mailman.
Whoa.
That's a federal crime if you assault a post office worker, by the way.
So you think that's what's gonna happen to Jimmy G?
Oh yeah, Jimmy's gonna do hard time in San Quentin at a federal penitentiary.
I mean, that's what the script calls for.
That's what the script calls for. That's what Jimmy Garoppolo is doing.
We don't make the rules. We just read the script that obviously is gonna happen.
And I mean, Jimmy is he's gonna pummel this mailman. He's gonna be like, "Oh, weren't you the guy that freaking sucked in the 2021 NFC Championship or 2022 NFC Championship game?" He's like, "All right, right hook for you here, brother." And then he's gonna go to jail.
I mean,
It's gonna be a really bad jail stint. But you know how he's gonna find himself when he comes out of jail? Darkness retreat.
that's just what everyone does. This little darkness retreat.
That's actually just a sub call of what culture is going to become. People are going to get very into darkness retreats this year. Darkness retreats are going to be in.
Yeah, that's where we're headed. Everyone's doing a darkness retreat.
Sorry, folks. Script calls for it.
Script calls for it. Next up, what does the script call for DeAndre Hopkins?
What does the script call for? What does any good story need? You know, guys usually go to Glendale, Arizona when they really want to just kick it back, let the career suck, but they don't want him in Glendale anymore.
No.
So where is he going to go? Where is he going to go? Along the banks of the Ohio River to the scummiest team in the NFL, arguably. He is going to be a Cleveland Brown to be back with Deshaun Watson. Browns fans will rejoice. They'll think somehow that Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and DeAndre Hopkins, all either aging or not very good, will somehow save them and make them AFC North contenders. They will finish 7-10. Browns fans will yet again be disappointed and sit there and say, well, maybe next year.
That is what the script calls for.
That is what the script calls for. Again, this is not me writing it. If it was me, I'd give you something better, Cleveland, but I don't shoot the messenger or don't punch the mailman like Jimmy Garoppolo is going to.
No, that's what the script calls for.
Script calls for.
All right. Any other big moves we see before we start diving into these free agents? Any big trades?
Lamar.
Oh yeah. What does the script call for with Lamar?
Oh, the script calls for Lamar. John Harbaugh comes in and says, "Hey, Lamar, we got this real shitty contract for you here, bud. You want to take it?" Lamar tells him to eat shit. And then he goes on Twitter and tells him to eat shit. And then Marlon Humphrey gets sad and he tweets, "Why'd you tell our coach to eat shit?" And he tells Marlon Humphrey to eat shit. And on the way out, the New York Jets say, "Hey, bud, you want a starting spot?" And guess what? It's happily ever after over in technically New Jersey, but in New York, as the New York Jets have a competent quarterback, Lamar Jackson.
Wow, that's a pretty good script.
Very good script if you're in New York. However, everyone is then left wondering, what happens to Zach Wilson? What happens to Zach Wilson?
Yeah, I guess I don't know. We got to see what the script says.
And I mean, you have the script too. I mean,
what about Mike White? What about both of them?
What happens to Mike White?
You know where I think
Mike White starts a mildly successful burger chain. That's what Mike White gets.
He just becomes a burger guy.
Yeah, he does. Actually, he gets featured on the next year's Burger King Whopper commercial, and Mike White is featured in that. And he makes so much money, he never has to work again in the NFL.
I mean, that's what the script calls for.
That's what I'm sorry. Like, what do you want me to do about it?
Yeah, there's nothing we can do. I mean, Mike White has pretty much already become the burger man.
Yeah, so there you go. That's your script.
That's a good script.
For some scripts, that's just the script, the way the script's looking.
Do we think Aaron Donald is going to get moved from the Rams?
No,
Jalen Ramsey?
The script is not saying that.
No, they're both staying.
I think so.
I actually think Jalen Ramsey will get traded.
Where?
It's a good question. I got a couple ideas, but I'm going to get really funky with this script. Makes no sense. But again, this is a move that has a lot of smoke with it. I think Jalen Ramsey is going to somehow end up on the Chargers.
Of course you do. Again, here we go. Ethan, your script, whatever script you're reading from, so in part, is just so...
No, this isn't a part of the script. This is just speculation.
Well...
Just because him and Derwin James just talk so much about wanting to be on the same team.
Maybe they should kiss.
Maybe they should. That's what the script calls for.
What if they kissed? What if we kissed on the top of SoFi? That's what Jalen and Derwin could be saying. What if we kissed on the top of SoFi? That would be wild. Oh no. Ethan is currently locked out here, folks. This could be a one-man show. This could become a disaster. Well, fortunately for everyone else, there are so many useless sports thoughts going through my head right now. Anything could happen. Unless Ethan's just moving and I don't know, and maybe I'm the one who's frozen. Who knows? Maybe that's just what the script calls for. I'm going to text him real quick, see what's going on. Don't worry, folks. I got this covered. You are frozen, bud. Let's see what he says. Until then, back to Zach Wilson. What does Zach Wilson do? Zach Wilson goes back to BYU, becomes an assistant coach. Ethan is officially gone. It is just me now. I don't know what to do. A little bit scared, but not really that much. Anyway, Zach Wilson back to BYU. Things go terribly. He sleeps with one of his other friend's moms. It's a whole ordeal. Things get really nasty. Lawyers involved. Jail time for Zach after he commits petty arson. Just the way it works out. Sorry about it, Zach. I don't really know what to do here now because it's just me. This is a little bit uncomfortable. I don't Ethan hasn't even responded to me yet. So where do we go from here? Do I call him? Should I call him? On a separate note, and I don't know if this is even still recording at this point, I got a haircut today. I'm not a huge fan of it. And here's the conundrum that I'm facing right now. I want to go back. I want to get this part in the back a little bit shorter down. However, I've gone to the same barber. Okay, you are back now, Ethan.
Hey, I am back.
Yeah, well, I was just telling everyone about my haircut, and I'm just curious about what I should do about it. Because here's the thing. I'll continue my story because this is really deep stuff here.
Okay.
I don't mind the side. I have a problem with the top. I think there's too much left on top. The problem is I've gone to the same barber my entire life. And if I go, this is the first time I ever go back. Does that break the bond between me and my barber?
I don't know. I would kind of leave it.
All right. Well,
to tell you the truth, what I would do is like let it grow out for like 2 weeks and then show back up.
That's a terrible idea.
Just do that kind of thing. I mean, you could go back now, tell them, hey,
I just feel so bad. I'll just have to go back to sweet Maggie and be like, I just need more off. Like, I feel bad. I mean, this is my barber. This is who I've gone to forever. It's
okay. I got too much off my hair, but that was also because of my bathroom situation, but that's a whole different thing.
It's okay. Didn't even know.
Okay. Let's get back to the script.
No.
Back to the NFL script. I feel like the biggest domino in the script we got to talk about. What do the Chicago Bears do with the first overall pick?
They originally planned to trade it to Jim Irsay and the Colts. The problem is Jim Irsay has a relapse on his cocaine addiction, cannot pick up the phone call. They have to go call somewhere else. You know who picks up that phone call?
Who?
The Carolina Panthers.
Okay, all the way down to pick number 9?
Yes. The Panthers pick up. They say, hey, we want those picks. They get the number 1 pick. They take Wait for it. CJ Stroud. They passed
Wow, with
Bryce
the
Young.
first pick.
CJ Stroud goes first overall. After a great offseason work, CJ looks fantastic. Carolina is going ballistic over their new franchise quarterback. Jim Irsay is in shambles. Colts fans, sorry about it. Maybe you shouldn't have a weird owner. That's just what's going to happen.
So let's talk about a part of the script. Who are the Colts going to hire? Who's their next head coach?
We all know it. We all know it.
Yeah, it's Jeff Saturday.
It's Jeff Saturday. They hired the most incompetent head coach to come back for year 2. Because why wouldn't you? You're Jim Irsay. You're a complete idiot.
Yeah, you got to give him a 6-year deal and hope that at some point during those 6 years he figures it out.
And he just never does. I can see 6 years into the future. He never figures it out. Jim Irsay is dumbfounded how his former All-Pro center, who never coached at a higher level than high school, couldn't get the ship right.
And especially when he was your interim, he went 1-7 and blew a 33-point lead.
He started like 6 different quarterbacks.
One of them being Nick Foles, Matt Ryan, and Sam Ellinger.
That was sweet.
Sweet, sweet, sweet.
So there you go.
There we go. There's the
first overall pick.
This is another speculation, not a part of the script. So I think they will trade it, but I'm starting to think maybe the Bears won't. I'm starting to think that I feel like they're throwing all their chips on the table, and people are gonna be like, we'll sit on it.
Maybe, or maybe not. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think they're gonna trade it. They gotta trade the pick. Why would they not?
They have to trade the pick.
They have to. They have
so Carolina's gonna get it. So then Houston,
CJ Stroud's heading to Carolina, dude.
So then Houston's getting Bryce Young.
Yes.
You know, it'd be a fun script.
What if Will Levis got taken?
Yeah, Will Levis right there.
Well, their owner's a piece of shit in Houston, so he might just do that.
Just a big white guy.
Yeah, that's sadly yes.
Where, quote unquote, he could be the next Josh Allen.
Well, he freaking won't be at all.
Will
Levis, I understand zero hype.
I don't understand it at all.
I've watched some throws. I've watched Kentucky football. I'm sorry. I know the play caller was not good. Not impressed.
People keep saying he's like Justin Herbert, but
please stop with that.
I don't see it at all.
Whoever said that should be delivered a cease and desist.
Well, they keep saying like Justin Herbert's big issue was that his offensive coordinator at Oregon was really bad, but Justin Herbert still showed a lot of big time throws that Will Levis just
sat there and just took a big old Duke in his pants most of the time there was pressure.
I mean, my issue with now NFL commentary is people are so concerned with finding the next Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen that they will overlook all mistakes and not just
basic issues.
It'd be like, well, he is a white guy. He's big. He's kind of athletic.
He's just Paxton Lynch. He's just Paxton Lynch. That's who he is. We've been through this. I don't know how many we could be really good. Well, guess what? He sucked all in college pretty much. What makes you think, unless he's really missing something, he's be like, you know what? The game is way harder and more difficult to digest as a quarterback. I'm going to get way better at that. No.
I mean, Josh Allen did.
Okay, well, that's because Josh Allen was playing at Wyoming.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't get a number of years to get good. Let's not pretend like Josh Allen was like, he was like 2 or 3 years before things really started to pan out.
Yeah, year 3 was really where it was like his first really good season.
Oh, you know what else is part of the script?
What's that?
Tony Romo gets fired from CBS.
You think he's going to get fired?
Yeah, they're going to fire him.
Wow.
Jim Nantz nearly come to blows in the announcer's booth. They almost fist fight.
Wow, I can't believe you think he's going to get fired.
That is going to be in the script right now. Tony Romo is fired from CBS.
Wow, that is a big move in the script.
That's
huge move in the script. Huge move in the script. Let's talk about the biggest free agent wide receiver, which is kind of crazy that he's the biggest free agent wide receiver, Jacoby Myers. Where does Jacoby Myers go?
Jacoby Myers, you think Jacoby Myers is the biggest free agent?
It's either him or Juju Smith-Schuster.
Big names.
Big names.
What does the script call for?
What does the script call for?
Probably goes back to New England, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick probably brings him into the office and just kind of goes, and then he signs a contract with him.
And that's it.
That's it. And then Mac Jones. This is his final year. The script is calling for it.
Wow, final year. Who do the Patriots get then?
Well, they're going to move on after this full completion this season.
I see.
Like he's going to play one more year. You'll have freaking Mac Jones. That dude sucks, and you'll have to suffer through that, Patriots fans. But you'll have him one more year, and then he'll be gone, and that'll be it.
Yeah, I mean that's
the script might just call for Tom Brady coming back in 2024.
Well, no, but then that's when he starts at Fox.
Yeah, but he's also already said on multiple occasions that I think I could be still playing. But
yeah, he has said that.
So Mac Jones leaves.
Did you see the report today that it was Giselle who convinced him to retire?
Are they back?
Well, they said they're cordial.
They're so back. Are you kidding me right now? Dude, they're back. Are you kidding me?
That's what the script calls for.
Dude, no, are you being shared as a real?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I can send it to you.
Oh my God, Giselle and Tom, you guys are back. Look at you two. You guys are so cute together. Aw, you guys divorced basically over something like an 8-9 season. That was still, you guys are back. Love is still alive, folks. Tom and Giselle are back.
Tom and Giselle are back. They're cordial.
Back, man. Wow, back.
I mean, when Brady posted that photo of him in that underwear ad, it was over.
No, that to me just screamed like, okay, maybe someone needs to sit him down for a talk.
Yeah, it was Dov. Giselle helped Tom Brady make the final decision to retire. The two talked this through before he came to the final decision, according to the New York Post. Tom and Giselle are on cordial terms.
So back. I mean, just dude, so back.
That's
just
big.
So back.
I mean, now he's done. He's back with. They're gonna be back.
I think I've been on this. I think since he retired, which has been like a week and a half. So yeah, they're back.
Another thing in the script. Where does Josh Jacobs go?
Josh Jacobs is going to go to a team who has way too much value on what they think a running back is.
Who is that?
There's a lot of teams out there that probably think like this.
There are a lot of teams.
I know. You think the running back is worth paying this much when they're really not?
No.
Where do I see that?
Where does
the script is trying to speak to me right now? It's trying so hard to speak.
It's trying to tickle you. It's trying to let you know.
Really wants to let me know. And I'm going to say, for no other reason other than their ownership group is moronic. Say Josh Jacobs ends up in Arizona.
Oh, really?
Josh Jacobs ends up as a member of the Arizona Cardinals because they don't know what they're doing, and they're like, maybe this will help Kyler want to stay.
What a script.
And it is a doozy. People are sitting there saying, why? And he's like, I just want to kick it in Phoenix, man. Technically Glendale, a suburb of Phoenix.
Doesn't want to go too far from Vegas?
No, I mean, he really likes the warm climate. I don't know. Maybe New Orleans. New Orleans. That could be the other. It's between New Orleans, who's now with Derek Carr, $100 million over the cap, sits there and tries to make the offer, but the NFL says you financially cannot afford this, and they shut it down.
So I read an article about this the other day that if the Saints are over the cap by the start of the new year, do you know what happens?
I don't know. They have to I have no idea what does happen.
The NFL just gets to force cuts of players to get them over the cap.
Hell yes. That's so sick. They just get to be like, all right, well, your ass is gone. You can't stay.
Pretty much, yeah. They're just going to be like, basically, they'll take the players who have the biggest cap hits and then cut them for the team.
Dude, that is cinematic.
Could you imagine if that happened in the modern NFL?
They're just like, you have to cut. I mean, oh my God. Could you imagine?
They were just like, yeah, you have to get rid of Tyrann.
If I was the commissioner, I would make them just cut just extremely good players. And they'd be like, what are you doing? You can't do that. I'd be like, yes, I can.
Honestly, make them cut Derek Carr right after they traded for him.
Can't wait for those post-game prayer circles with Derek Carr.
Hey, Derek is going to do great in New Orleans.
It's going to be so shit. It's going to be so shit, dude. I don't believe in Derek Carr for a second.
No, I don't either. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad out there.
It's okay.
And they're going to pretend it's good.
Well, New Orleans has to have something.
Yeah,
Shout
I
out
mean, they
Derek.
have to give some hope, I guess.
Sweet, sweet Derek.
Anything else the script calls for? What about like Roquan? Oh, I guess Roquan Smith resigned.
Already resigned.
Script is already done on that one.
Trying to think of any like noteworthy script moments.
Yeah, like
I said Zach Wilson would actually like go back to BYU as an assistant coach.
Oh,
I got to get into a scandal because he sleeps with another one of his friend's moms.
I got a big script.
And then commits petty arson.
And this is going to surprise a lot of fans out there. T. Higgins isn't traded.
Wow. That is mind-boggling to some people out there.
Crazy, right? That the script would say that?
I would never have thought that the script would have called for that. And the Cincinnati Bengals would sit there and say, we want to control our controllable assets.
Yeah. And that's what the script says.
You know what else the script might call for?
What's that?
Aaron Rodgers starts his own magic mushroom shop.
That is what the script calls for.
That could happen. Actually, I would bet on it.
And then he gets traded to a state where it's not legal, and then he gets arrested.
But then he gets out of it because he convinces the arresting officer to go on a darkness retreat with him.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Would you do a darkness retreat?
No. I would not
sit not even just to try it.
For 4 days, sit in darkness by myself.
It apparently opens people's eyes, Ethan.
How does it open your eyes? You're literally in the dark.
I know, but like it's an existential experience. Like
why would I want to do that to myself? What would I sit there and think about? Oh man, could I be a New York Giant or a Las Vegas Raider?
Well, there are some basic things that I would need to know before doing it. I think I actually I will tell you this just to say because of how ridiculous it is. Like, okay, yeah, sure. If someone's like, we'll give you a free darkness retreat, which is basically like getting kidnapped for 4 days, but you get to leave. I would need to know, like, okay, if you need to go to the bathroom, like, is that still dark too?
I assume so.
Like, there's no light in the bathroom?
I assume you're just sitting in the bathroom the entire time.
No, that's far too small of an area unless you just have the toilet right there in the middle of a large room.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, it's just like a studio apartment, basically.
So you think there is furniture in the darkness retreat, though?
I would think so, yeah.
Like, what do you think he does to pass time?
You think he's just sitting on the wood floor, just like...
I don't. Maybe this is a minimalist kind of thing. Like, he's really... Like, when method actors, like, you know, when they're really trying to get into a role, just... You know, do some really weird stuff.
Do you think he just slept on the floor?
Well, maybe I mean, I don't know, dude. This is Aaron's darkness retreat. Aaron will make this what he wants. But again, you wouldn't do the darkness retreat, is what I'm hearing?
No.
If you were offered it for free.
To do no.
You get to go with Aaron.
Oh, that's worse, honestly.
No, like you guys aren't in the same darkness room, but you're in like next to one of their darkness rooms.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Why not?
You do?
If someone was like free darkness retreat and I knew it was safe and Aaron was next door, I don't know why Aaron needs to be next door, but
yeah, why does he need to be next door?
I don't know, just because it would be hilarious. We emerge at the same time. Maybe we're like,
I assume you would hear like weird sounds coming out of his.
Okay,
darkness.
But these are soundproof rooms. I'm banking on it at least. But like
I doubt it.
Me and Aaron emerge at the same time from our 4 days of darkness.
What you're describing is Love is Blind, but of darkness retreats.
Yeah, where like talk. I wouldn't talk to Aaron. There's no talking in the darkness retreat.
Here, I got a question for you. Would you rather do a darkness retreat with Aaron Rodgers or go on that armed services show we were watching with Aaron Rodgers?
Okay, that show is so funny. For no one who knows what we're talking about, what is it? Like Special Forces, the
special on Fox.
It's on Fox.
We've been watching it on Hulu.
Yeah, or Hulu. It is conceptually one of the most ridiculous and stupid shows. It's like such basic reality TV where they have athletes and a couple reality stars just get trained by former Navy SEALs and British Special Forces dudes. Oh, it is comical. You have to watch.
Great. It's a great deep dive into what Danny Amendola does in his free time.
No, but I would want to go with Aaron on the Special Forces thing, though.
You would rather do the darkness retreat.
I would do the Special Forces like Marshawn Lynch.
No, you got to do it with Aaron. Either way, you're doing it with Aaron.
I would rather do the darkness retreat.
But you have to sit with Aaron in the darkness.
Oh, but I have to sit with him in the same room?
Yeah, like you guys are in the room together.
Fine, I guess I'll just go to the Special Forces thing with him.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to sit in a dark room with him, dude. He's freaking weird. It'd be very uncomfortable. At least in the tent, like, he has his little cot over there. If I'm like, And if Aaron starts bugging me, I can be like, go the hell away. Like, what are you doing? Stop getting close to me. What I think that's a very valid. Why there's 12 in this scenario, there would be 14 other people with me on the special forces thing. The other one,
no. It's just you and him. Either way, it's just you and him. With the special forces people, it'd be with the SEALs, or you're in the darkness retreat.
I would still say I would do the special forces thing over it.
You go get trained with SEALs and stuff.
Yeah, then I would rather sit in a dark room with Aaron Rodgers for 4 days.
What if you had to do the Amazing Race with him?
That would be okay. The Amazing Race with me and Aaron Rodgers would be so good. I would get under his skin so quick. He probably would end up trying to fight me by like Iceland, the second leg of the trip. He'd pull me to the side and be like, "You say one more fucking word, I swear to God." And I would just keep going. I wouldn't be able to stop. And it wouldn't even be like mean things. It would just be very tiny little pokes. I know at some point would get to him.
All right, so let's do a start bench cut. Which game show do you think you'd win with Aaron Rodgers as your partner?
Okay.
Big Brother, The Amazing Race, or Survivor?
Well, Survivor, you can't have a partner.
Well, we're bending the rules a little bit. Like you guys can like team up to try to win.
Survivor.
Yeah.
So I Survivor, I don't think we do well in. I think I would do great because I would win Survivor.
But Aaron Rodgers is probably in better shape than you.
It's not about that. You have to talk to people socially and get people to vote with you. Everyone be like, this guy is psychotic. He is not okay to be out here.
He'd be like, where's the darkness room?
Yeah, he would probably find some cave and hide from production. They'd be like, where's your teammate, Clark? And be like, I don't know. He wanted his own darkness retreat again. He does this.
Oh, what would have been a better one is if I said Naked and Afraid.
I would not. Okay, I would never do that. That show is a hellhole.
With
that
Aaron
show
Rodgers.
Is terrible. I mean, yeah. No, I would say I'll cut Big Brother because I think I don't like that show. I'll bench Survivor because I think I could still carry us to victory. I mean, again, this is a weird form of Survivor where you're 2-2. So I think I think I'm the ultimate survivor. Jeff Probst, getting back to that audition tape. And I'll start Amazing Race. That would be Amazing Race in general, just looks like such a fun show to be on.
Yeah.
I would do that 100%. And again, I would just make very snarky comments at him the whole time that would probably eventually divulge in some sort of huge fight. You know, I would ask, just very dumb questions that he would get annoyed with very quickly.
You know, it'd be really cool.
I don't even know if he could do the Amazing Race though, because he doesn't have the vaccine, so you can't like.
That's true. But what I'm saying is, if you guys won the Amazing Race, they would probably let you guys go on as the Masked Singer. And so then you guys could do like the Masked Singer together.
I would decline the Masked Singer opportunity. That is the worst show. No, Masked Singer is not the worst show on television. It's up there with like The Good Doctor, which I don't even know why that's been renewed for. Like
no, the worst show on TV right now. I haven't watched any of it. I just know it to be true.
How do you know?
Is Young Rock.
No, we've talked about this. I agree. I don't know what the demographic is saying that the Young Rock is needed. But I don't
that's the worst show on TV.
No.
What's
Young
worse?
Sheldon's still worse. Young Sheldon's still worse.
We haven't watched either, but I
have watched Young Sheldon.
You've watched Young Sheldon?
I watched 2 episodes, and I decided I would rather be launched into the sun than be asked to watch any more of that.
Of Young Sheldon? Well, it's like The Big Bang Theory was already for like a certain amount of people, and then just taste the. It'd be like if you
were obsessed with Big Bang Theory.
I wasn't obsessed. I thought they had some good stuff.
Recorded episodes of The Big Bang Theory.
They had some good stuff on there.
They had nothing. And you just sat there and said, for a certain demographic, knowing you are a part of you would sit
I haven't
there.
watched The Big Bang Theory in maybe like
No,
6
don't try
years.
to run and hide. You recorded episodes and see you would talk.
When I was in like middle school.
That's too far even then. You should have known better.
So like
Disgusting
Young Sheldon,
behavior.
The concept is like if they took like Patrick from SpongeBob and then did the young version of Patrick.
Yeah, but that would have been still funnier.
I don't know. Or like if they did a spit off of Shrek of Donkey, but like baby Donkey.
Okay, but wait a minute now. Puss in Boots is getting critically acclaimed.
Yeah,
so you don't know.
But Donkey, his whole shtick is that he's like the sidekick kind of guy.
So is Puss in Boots.
No, Puss in Boots wasn't even like he was just kind of a side character.
Exactly.
He
Was a
kid.
side character in Shrek Forever after the third one, and then Donkey has been the side character in all threes.
So hey, Ben just said Sheldon is goated, not as good as the Dwayne the Rock show.
Ben, one more bad take out of you, brother. One more bad take, and I swear. From Mac Jones to young Sheldon to now saying Sheldon is a goated character. No, thank you.
You know what the script calls for? Young Sheldon to come out and sing the national anthem at this year's Super Bowl.
That would get me emotional, I think. I would cry.
I think it would get me emotional too.
Are you ready for Rihanna's halftime performance? You think that's going to be pretty good?
Yeah, I think it will be pretty good.
Where do you think it's potentially the best of all time?
Who's the best of all time right now? Katy Perry because of Left Shark.
No, that is a good
Justin
one.
Timberlake because it was really awkward.
No, I'm trying to think. I don't know. Prince.
The Black Eyed Peas.
Oh God, the Black Eyed Peas. That one was bad.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to list off all the bad ones I think about. The Weekends was kind of weird too.
The Weekends was like during COVID though, so what could you?
Yeah, it was like fine.
Yeah,
I liked last year's a lot.
Who was last year again?
That
that was good with Snoop Dogg and everything. Yeah,
yeah, with Eminem. I thought that was good. I liked that one.
They should have had Nickelback do this one.
They should have, yeah.
That would have fit the Midwest, like the Southwest demographic of like old people. They would like.
You know what they need to have? Whopper, 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 Whopper.
If Rihanna sang the Whopper Whopper song, I would give her all of my money.
Have you seen the trap remix of the Whopper song on TikTok?
Why is that even a thing?
Kind of goes hard.
I'm sure it does.
Did you know the Whopper song is now on Spotify?
I need the dude. Why is it on Spotify? Who
so people can listen to
Spotify?
Whopper, 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 Whopper.
Dude, that sweet, sweet Whopper. Just need it so bad.
I mean, it's a big ad. At BK. Good ad. No Sean Moreno's size tear for young Sheldon halftime. Oh, tear. Sorry.
Tears. Yeah. Remember what? Yeah. No
I
Sean.
know what he's talking about. Yeah.
It's true. Probably would be a very emotionally engaging moment for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Rihanna probably has the possibility.
I think she's. I will put on right now. I think she's probably going to give a top 5 Super Bowl halftime performance of all time.
Oh, I have another hot take. You know what's the worst thing about the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl media week.
No, ads or like advertisements for their commercials. The ad agencies making ads for their commercials for the Super Bowl. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why do I need to see an ad for a commercial?
Yeah.
Like Popcorners has been hyping up this
yeah, but now you're talking about
commercial.
It's working. You're talking about it.
Well, I know, but I'm not going to be like sitting there during the Super Bowl like, "Oh yeah, I saw it." Yeah.
I mean, I guess I get that. I think it's kind of dumb to leak your commercial before the Super Bowl when it takes all suspense out of it.
I just think yeah, I mean, the only good thing about the Super Bowl, honestly, another hot take. The only good thing about Super Bowl commercials is honestly the trailers. The movie trailers are pretty good usually.
I feel like they don't do. I think my favorite Super Bowl commercial ever was that like 3-minute long one that was just like so God made a farmer and then ended up being a Ford commercial.
Yeah.
That was and when I say the best one ever, that was probably the worst one ever.
The one that people always really liked, which I found really annoying, was the baby monkey. What was it?
Oh,
monkey baby.
The Mountain Dew thing.
Oh, puppy monkey baby. Ben said it's his favorite before I had even started talking about it.
Can we block Ben from interacting with this anymore?
Yeah, he's done.
Puppy monkey baby is my favorite.
It was a Mountain Dew commercial.
It was a Mountain Dew commercial.
The Doritos ones used to be good. I don't know.
I mean, Taco Bell used to have some good ones.
Liv Moss. I mean, the Bud Knight used to be good.
Oh, the Bud Knight. Yeah, those the best commercials right now though going are the Dr. Pepper ones.
Oh, the
Fansville. Those actually make me chuckle a little bit.
No, your favorite is the Eminem commercial.
Okay, the Eminem okay, the Eminem commercial before you go to a movie, and that is the unbelievably so the best commercial ever created for the peanut M&M or for whatever it is. If you go to a movie, you know what I'm talking about. It is so good. I will rehearse the lines every single time I go to a movie. Specifically when the Peanut M&M, they're like, "Oh, this is your mission." He's like, "No, this is an envelope."
This is an envelope.
Kills me every time.
Yeah, it's gotten to such a point that Clark, like, he's seen it probably over 100 times.
I laugh at it,
and he still laughs
time.
every time. Every time you go to a movie with it, he will laugh at the envelope joke every single time. And like sometimes it's like out loud, and then other times you'll just hear him kind of go like a little chuckle, like with his hand.
Because I mean, dude, I'm telling you that it just kills me. I know it's so stupid. No, this is an envelope. Oh my god, it's just so good. That's. I mean, I remember he's such a huge Peanut M&M fan to begin with, but the fact that just delivers one of the greatest commercial lines of all time, just unmatched.
That's how it is. All right, you got anything left before we go?
Yeah. Only one thing. We didn't touch on a lot of the NBA today, but I think it is worth mentioning. LeBron James breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time points record. I've said it in the past. I think it needs to be said again. Ethan may disagree with me. LeBron James, at this point in his career, with everything he's accomplished, with every expectation that was ever leveled upon this guy at age 16, 17, when he hadn't even graduated in Akron, Ohio, he's exceeded every single expectation. He is, in my opinion, easily the greatest basketball player in NBA history. I understand Jordan went 6 for 6, but this is a guy, again, every expectation onto him. He has shattered every single one, whether you want to admit it or not. And he has done everything you could have asked for. He holds just about every single record that there is to hold. He's the GOAT, and twice on Sundays. This dude is everything and anything. LeBron James, congratulations. Huge moment. It was very cool to watch. Good times.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You know what I've kind of decided?
Please
I don't watch the NBA enough, so I've kind of decided to take myself out of their GOAT conversation. I feel like my opinion, I didn't watch Michael Jordan. I don't know what he was like. I mean, I watched LeBron.
I will concede to that. I feel like I kind of fall under the same thing. Or at times I'm like, okay, I didn't watch MJ, so I don't have that grasp enough to know. So I guess you would say bias is more towards LeBron. But like 6 for 6 in title games can only hold so much weight when LeBron is just breaking every single record. Every single one.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it this way with Jordan, I mean, he basically won 6 championships in a row. Because I mean, in the middle,
I'm not saying it isn't amazing. I'm not saying it's not amazing.
I mean, I think it's hard. Again, I try to withdraw myself from this, but kind of the same thing I see with Brady too. Of like, LeBron is 3 of 9 in finals appearances.
Well, that's not true. He has 4 rings.
Does he have 4 rings now?
He has 1 with Cleveland, 2 with Miami, and 1 with Los Angeles. That's 4.
So he's 4 for 9? Yeah. 4 for 9?
I think he has more than 9 appearances.
I don't think so. He went 8 in a row. He went to the finals 8 years in a row at one point.
That's right. My bad. Yes, you are correct.
And because he won one with the Lakers. You're right.
Yes.
He has 4 rings. I don't know. MJ would be DeMar DeRozan in today's league. What are you talking about, Ben?
Who said that?
Ben.
Dude. Ben, we're gonna get you some mental help there, buddy. We can't see you continue to suffer like this.
That'd be like saying, like Dan Marino would be like today's Daniel Jones.
So stupid. So dumb. No, Ben, he wouldn't be DeMar DeRozan.
I mean, I could get the argument that maybe the league. I mean, the league is a lot different.
Better in this league now because there's so much more favoritism towards shooting. You can't get hacked like he did when he played the Pistons back in the 80s. The physicality is way less.
I think he would be a lot better in today's. It's kind of what we say about the NFL too. Like a lot of these older style running backs would probably be not as good in today's modern NFL. But
yes,
I mean, the league changes, and the players that are good in them change.
No, I agree. I think again, just for me, like I know Michael Jordan's insanely good. I have heard. I think, and again, it's tough for me because I didn't watch him play, but I've watched LeBron his whole career, and again, to me, it's most impressive because of everything. Everything was put on this kid when he was 16, 17. On covers of Sports Illustrated Wheaties. And he did every single thing you asked of him practically. Every single thing.
You know what I think the NFL equivalent of this debate is going to be? I think it's going to be Mahomes versus Brady when all is said is done. I think Mahomes will hold all the records.
Probably.
I think he'll hold all the records, but Brady will have more rings. And I think that'll be the discussion of what makes you the greatest in the league. Because I think Brady's pinnacle.
I don't know if Mahomes is going to get to 7. He'll get close. So, yeah, if he gets like the conversation with Mahomes, I will agree on that, ends if he can get to like 4 or 5. Like if he can get to 4 or 5, then the conversation I think is very real.
I don't even know if it is actually.
I think it is. Yeah, I think if he gets to 4
I mean,
or 5, and he
look at
breaks
this.
all of Brady's records, and he has more MVPs, then because
So.
I think Mahomes. That to me is like if Rodgers had won those Super Bowls. If Rodgers had won more like 4 Super Bowls, then there's a real question.
I don't think so, because the thing about Brady and the craziest thing about his career is he won the Super Bowl in a third of his seasons. Every 3 years he was the starting quarterback, he won the Super Bowl. That's not even considering his appearances, his championships. We're just talking about the rings on his fingers.
I hear
in
you.
a third of his seasons, he won a championship. That's why I say I think this debate is going to shape up how we talk about Mahomes and Brady as we move forward. Because I'm just going to put it out there now. And if Mahomes does, great for him. He's not winning 7 Super Bowls.
You don't know it.
You don't know it, but in the state of the AFC right now, it seems incredibly
It's going to be very hard, yes. But I will say it does seem like for the foreseeable future, Kansas City is going to occupy one of the 2 spots every single year in the AFC Championship.
I mean, I think so too, but you never know. I mean, the AFC West, I get it. They seemed like they got a lot better last year, but this year it seems like they're teed up to get even better than they were last year with Herbert progressing and now getting a competent offensive coordinator. The Broncos just got an arguably top 5 coach in the league in Sean Payton.
Just depends if Russ can cook.
Yeah, and the Raiders might get Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's going to get tougher. It doesn't matter of it didn't work out this year, but that doesn't mean next year it's not. This division is going to be tough, and the road is going to be every week Mahomes plays. He's going to have to play Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, all of these quarterbacks. Plus, the AFC is about to get a lot of these young, like Houston and the Colts might be the top 2 picks this year and put in 2 young quarterbacks back into the AFC as well.
I agree. I do agree.
I mean, that's what makes this tough. Tom Brady had a cakewalk through his division almost his entire career. I mean, again, in his last season, maybe the greatest showing of his career, he got into the playoffs with a losing record.
Yep.
Because his division is such trash.
That's the way it goes.
The best quarterback he played probably in his entire career was Drew Brees in his dying year.
He still lost the Saints several times, if I remember.
Yeah, they lost twice, but they ended up beating him in the playoffs. But still, that's probably the best quarterback he played in his entire career within his division.
I don't know. I still stand by. If Mahomes wins 3 or 4, 3 to 5, I'll have the conversation about it.
We'll see. I mean, if he wins one this year, it opens the door. If he
loses, opens it wide open if he wins this one.
If he loses, then it's going to get a lot harder for him.
Yeah, we'll just have to see.
I mean, he's in year 6.
He's younger, though, so.
He is, but Tom played to 45.
And at the same time, again, as much as we say, like, hey, Tom had an easy division, Kansas City wins the AFC West with regularity every year still.
Yeah.
And the Chargers are getting better. I know Denver can be better, but we all said the same thing last season.
We did, but I'm just saying, I think even from a perspective of, I mean, Denver had Nathaniel Hackett.
He was really good. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's true. Sorry. That's how we should end the show. Nathaniel Hackett is the coach of the year. This has been From the Backseat. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like. Make sure to follow us. Make sure to go check us out on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want to find us. Thanks for listening.
Appreciate it, guys.